I love going on, checking out audible.com because you wouldn't think that they would have like every book you'd ever want to hear or read, but they do. They have, I mean, they don't have every book, obviously, ever published, but they have a lot of really great stuff on there. A lot of it written by the authors, read by the authors themselves.
Yeah,
I kind of like that, to see it give their own interpretation of their own works.
I agree.
They're marvelous for car trips.
Oh, the audiobooks?
Absolutely.
Except Eat, Pray, Love. I listened to that on tape, and it was just like, shut up,
Why?
lady.
What was wrong?
Because the book was bad
whiny.
enough. It was like, she's complaining about everything
whining about
all the
everything.
time. And then her
Yes.
talking, she just has this voice. I was in India, and I fell ill. I'm just like, oh my God.
She's the female Garrison Keillor. Is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
it was just...
Oh, my God. I'd like to know where it is that people from Anoka learn to talk like this. I really don't. Anoka, Minnesota, and I have this accent. Where does it come from?
That's pretty good.
I've never understood why he talks like that. You know, another thing I've noticed? Steve Harvey on Family Feud.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
When you used to watch Steve Harvey show, how you doing, ladies and gentlemen? How's everything going? Everything really good with you now? I can't believe you gave me that answer. It's like, all of a sudden, he's Mr. Ghetto.
That's right.
Where did that come
It's
from?
like Obama in the South, whatever he's doing.
Yeah, when he's down in the South, that's
That
exactly
happens to
right.
me, too, though. I get around those southern news all of a sudden. I'm like, y'all. I'm like,
let me tell
what
you
am I
something.
doing? Why do I do this?
right
Am I
now.
southern now?
I love that episode last year of Raising Hope when they were talking about, oh, that's magnificent heroes. He goes, I believe that's pronounced gyro.
You're going to hear a tortilla from time to time and then gyros.
Gyro.
I hear people calling him gyros all the time. It drives me crazy.
I actually heard Queezadilla once.
No.
I
Queezadilla?
did. Queezadilla. I would like a Queezadilla.
Who was the radio announcer? Was it here that said Chai Chai Rodriguez once?
No, that was WKRP.
Oh, that's what it was.
It was Les
That's what it
Nessman.
was. Okay.
There was actually a radio announcer who's now retired, but it wasn't that long ago, probably 10, 12 years ago. He said, you know, one nice thing about going to so-and-so car dealer is that they'll let you Jew them down.
Oh,
He actually said that on there. Remember that, Tony?
yeah, I sure do.
When I was in Marshall,
Jew 'em.
when I was in Marshall, Minnesota, we had a sports announcer suspended because he was calling the game. He actually said, and the running back was African American. He said, "Well, that was a nice little jigaboo move right there."
Jigaboo.
He was suspended for 2 days.
Jigaboo.
Yes, he said it live on the sportscast. That was not
You know,
good.
there's a lot of that stuff out there.
Did you hear about what Tommy Thompson's son said about Obama?
The Wisconsin, he wants to be a senator now.
Yeah, the senatorial candidate's son
Right.
said, and they got it on video, "We're going to send Obama back to Kenya."
Well, that's actually kind of
Oh, come on. You can't say that.
all these people are not. That's why we're going to talk to a libertarian today, as a matter of fact, to get all this stuff straightened away and just see how we can, as libertarians, take over the country. Yeah, one of my
Tony.
favorite recorded things of
My
all time
little
was
sweetie.
many years ago. This was a long time ago, actually. It was a game in the Deep South. It was like, I can't remember which schools, but the announcer came on and said, "Today's broadcast brought to you by the NAACP." That'd be the day. Oh. He meant NCAA, and he said NAACP. Oh, that'll be the day.
Oh, my God.
Like, okay. There's those like radio and television bloopers are they're amazing. How many of them there really are.
I know there's like a 15-minute news broadcast thing where it's like newscasters bloopers are
People
so
making mistakes.
funny.
Love that. The really old ones, too, they used to call them boners.
Yeah. Had an interesting conversation with one of my coworkers this morning who did not know that canned tuna is cooked. How could you not know that? It was Andy.
It was me.
Actually, we've gotten several requests on Twitter and Facebook to have the Tom Barnard Podcast interview you.
Oh, because they want to hear me actually talk?
You're a great phantom mystery, Andy.
You are. You're a
I
big
think we should
mystery
just get
man.
your daily updates. Like, what do you have planned for the rest of your day today, Andy?
I'm going to take in a leave because my tooth hurts.
And that's
There
the
you
end
go.
report.
What's in the news this morning that we should be talking about?
Felix Baumgartner.
Oh, yeah, the skydive from 128,100
right.
feet. He broke the sound barrier. It was funded by the guy who owns Red Bull, who's worth like $6 billion.
That's what it was.
What,
So they-
what is that
Exactly.
like, I wonder?
He said it was exactly what he thought it would be. I told these guys that Joey Coco Diaz got kicked off of Twitter.
Well,
What?
he
He
is
did?
an obscene laddie, I must
What?
say.
If Nick Swartzen is kicked off Twitter,
That's
Then you know you can like go way too far.
Tony, he took a picture of his testicle sack and put it up on his Twitter page.
Now,
Nobody needs
why
that.
did he do that?
Speaking of
Good question.
HPV.
Friday, I'm going to do a podcast with him. So
2:30?
yeah, he didn't get to town until.
Where'd you pull that out of?
Because I just watched an episode of Dr. Oz, and he was talking about HPV, and that a lot of people don't know
They have papillomavirus.
that it's like laying all over around in there.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yes, it's not just like sexually transmitted. You don't have to actually have sex to get HPV. So if you have, the testicles, have it. That's why men especially get it under their fingernails because you have problems with scratching down there.
Problems.
Problems.
Big issues.
I don't know about that one.
Have you ever
personally.
seen a professional sports guy? It's all they do is scratch them.
I remember we
That's
did
my
a song
guess.
about, hey, papilloma.
I remember papilloma.
They also say that there's a new plague coming next year.
The
All
bubonic
right.
plague's already
The
here.
bubonic plague is here.
It is.
Is the black plague and the bubonic plague the same thing?
It is indeed.
I remember I was afraid of flying once when I was a kid because I was like, what if I get really sick on the plane while we're flying? Because we were flying to like Hawaii or something,
I
so it was a
still
long
worry about
time.
that.
And I was like, what if I get really sick and they don't have the equipment? And you were like, it takes 3 days for the bubonic plague to kill people, so I think you've got
You'd be
time.
okay.
I wear the beekeeper's hat on the
Yeah.
plane so that I don't
The
have to worry about
beekeeper's
that.
hat.
They won't even talk to
Absolutely.
you. It's
Yeah.
great.
And I was looking at the top 10 movies for the weekend. Here Comes the Boom debuted in 4th place. It only did $12 million in business. That shocks me because they are promoting the hell out of that.
Yeah, they
movie.
are.
That's
That's
Kevin
usually
James.
the worst ones that they promote the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Because they
that's
need
true.
to.
That is true. Andy Kindler went after Kevin James on his Twitter page. It was unbelievable.
Why?
I gotta see it.
Selma Hayek plus Kevin James equals the death of chemistry.
Oh, my word.
I mean, just
That's
went
not
after.
Oh,
nice.
dear.
But the number one movie for the second week in a row is Taken 2, Alex.
Woo!
Sinister's getting ripped. I guess it's terrible.
Nobody ever likes scary movies. We have to go see it still.
What else did we have? We had.
I saw Argo.
Who doesn't like scary movies?
Oh, did you see? I want to see
I
Argo.
don't.
I won't tell you. Oh, I mean, you know all about the movie
Was it
because
good?
it was real, but it was very good.
I got
the only
Andy
thing is
Kindler.
that it was really hard for me the entire movie not to look at Ben Affleck as Dan Fogelberg.
Andy Kindler does not like Kevin James.
Andy Kindler, Here
Safe
Comes
and
the
John.
Boom, still in a theater.
From Bradshaw and Bryant, Michael Bryant. What's up, Allie?
Oh, not much. Doing my usual thing of telling people they shouldn't be texting and driving. In Minnesota, you can't have your phone in your hands. You can use, hands-free, but you can't have your phone in your hands for whatever reason. And that's why they made the law the way they did, so that police officers could see a phone in your hand and you got no excuse for why you got it there.
Do people know that that's the law?
I hope so. I mean, they used to follow it, and then kind of COVID kind of made people forget, and now it's like a freewheeling world out there with cell phones.
Let's say you get pulled over because you do have a phone in your hand and you're not watching where you're going. You got to be in pretty big trouble then, I would guess.
Well, the first one's not as bad. It's the multiple ones, the problem. And once people start stacking them up, then they have a big problem. And then what we're doing in car accidents is we've started bringing motions for punitive damages because I'm trying to use the civil law any way we can to stop this because it needs to stop.
Whenever I'd had any problems in my life, who was that I called again? It was like an MB, something like that.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
I'm talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, business owners have had to deal with a lot over the last few years, haven't they?
They sure have, Tommy. We pride ourselves on being able to help our customers with the challenges they face.
Our business bankers are experts and are always ready to help our customers capitalize on opportunities and solve problems.
Loan decisions come quickly because they're made here in the Twin Cities and not shipped out of state like at some of the national banks in town.
This allows our customers to expand their businesses with confidence, knowing that they have our team of experts in their corner.
Okay, so now you give me this big thing at the end. Way to go.
Well, you are the professional.
Oh, I forgot. Look, I know Brad and Mike, and I trust them with my banking. They've personally delivered on everything they've just said, so why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Should we share your problems?
Well, I can do that. Today, being
How
much time
many
do
of
we have?
them?
today being October 15th, I am on antibiotics because I have to have, on the same day, I get to pay my property taxes, my other property taxes, my federal income taxes, my state income taxes, and I have to have a root canal. All on the same day.
And he has
nice.
HPV.
I do not have HPV. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I come home on Friday, and he's got this. He looks like he's been collecting nuts in his cheek.
It was Friday night. They're not going to some Minute Clinic. I love that. Every time we go to Florida, Andy, you got to run me over to the Minute Clinic.
Well, some people like to go to Disney World.
Yeah.
No, he likes the Minute Clinic.
Minute Clinic's faster.
They know me down there.
It's over sooner.
They know my order.
Andy prefers a chest X-ray.
Are you calling a cell number, Andy? I don't know why this is such a problem. Why does it have to be on a day when I feel terrible?
Might
It's
as well
ringing.
pile it on.
How things go.
This is Jake.
Jake, how you doing? It's the Tom Barnard Podcast calling.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
I'm doing very well, except for Election Day is 3 weeks away, and I don't want to elect either guy.
I don't blame you.
That's the problem that I have.
Just a different amount of melanin in their skin, but pretty much the same guy on policy.
I suppose that's true. I never thought of it that way, Jake. Jake, Shannon, do libertarians control the election? Well, I suppose they do control the election. Because, I will tell you something, Jake. As time goes by, more and more people that I meet are claiming they're libertarian. They are not happy with anyone's plan. And my question is, are we ever going to get to the point where we can actually have a viable libertarian party who actually has a shot at taking the White House?
Probably not. And I say that as the chair of the Libertarian Party of Utah. So, I'm just saying probably not, but it actually has to do with the mathematics of voting. It's a rather obscure subject matter that most people, they already hate politics and politicians enough that they don't want to even think deeper about, the doo-doo. So, but the mathematics of voting, actually most countries in the world that are constitutional republics, they're newer than us because we were kind of the original, we were the model, and they found some better ways to vote. And that's things called instant runoff voting or proportional representation. And in this system, we have what's called first past the post. And there's a whole school of economics that deals with that called public choice economics. And it deals with taking economic analysis and applying it to politics. And what they've found is that there's certain problems inherent with different kinds of voting. We have first past the post. So all we care about is who comes in first. So then all that ends up happening as you run kind of the simulation and look through the evolution of it is you just care about first and second place. Third place, who cares?
Right.
Right, but these ranked voting systems like instant runoff voting, you actually can say not only who you prefer, but how much you prefer compared to the other ones. So it's a two-dimensional, you have a vector. Not only can you say who you like, but you could say how much. Like money, right? Not only do I like this shirt, but I could say, well, I don't like it enough to spend $50, but I'd spend $25. So not only can you say you like it, but you can say how much you like it. And that's, until that changes, we probably will be stuck with this nonsense. You'll have your flukes every once in a while. I mean, we elected the first libertarian mayor in the country here in Utah. But, again, those are flukes.
Yeah, I wish there weren't flukes. To tell you the truth, as time goes by, I'm getting to the point, I'm watching the Democrats and the Republicans, and they're going to say this, and they're going to say that, and then we get $16 trillion in debt. I'm getting to the point where it's like, you know what? I'll stop working. You can have all my stuff back. Just leave me alone. I mean, seriously, just leave me alone. Get away from me with all this.
Not go that far.
Well, seriously, it's like why do people have to work so hard to try to get ahead, and then you find out you can't get ahead because of other people's idiotic decisions?
Yeah, and that's.
I think the
really
police are coming for you, Jay.
Right? When they say laissez-faire capitalism, which is to be distinguished from the kind of state capitalism that we have now, but in French, laissez-faire means leave me alone. Just let me do my thing. If it's peaceful, let me do it. But you know how it is. You try to start a business. There's 10,000 licenses and loopholes, and it's all. I mean, they're even harassing little girls and little boys trying to have lemonade stands. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Do you know Frank Caliendo, the very famous? He's
the comedian.
Absolutely. He was on the podcast last Friday, and he talked about being a libertarian himself. And he asked a question that I immediately thought, well, I got to ask Jake Shannon that question on Monday. And his question was, if $250,000 is the cutoff for being rich, So there are two people that each make $250,000 a year. One of them lives in Mobile, Alabama, and the other one lives in Los Angeles. Is that really fair?
Exactly.
How is that fair? Because the person in Mobile, Alabama has 5 times the money as someone who lives in Los Angeles.
People don't realize that.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at where your money buys.
Yeah.
It's real estate. $250,000 in Alabama is a mansion.
Yes.
$250,000 in L.A. is like a down payment on the east side of L.A.
Like a porta potty, maybe.
Get a hut.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how that's fair. And the other question that I have for you is, we brought this up a couple of times. 8 years ago, a person made $250,000, qualified to buy a $600,000 house, correct? And this is the up and up way, not these people that bought houses at 125% of their value.
Yeah.
But so this person makes $250,000 a year. They buy a $600,000 house because that's the formula that everybody uses. They put 20% down on the house at that time. So they've got $480,000 in debt. Now, their neighbors didn't pay their mortgages. They go into foreclosure, so now your $600,000 house is worth about $350,000. So you're $140,000 to $180,000 underwater.
Yep.
But you continue to pay your mortgage. And now we're going to raise your taxes because you make over $250,000 a year. So now you won't be able to pay your mortgage. How does that make sense?
You're spot on. It makes no sense.
It's ridiculous.
And you're right. I think this is something that I do think that the Gary Johnson campaign has really done a good job of. I don't envision him really doing crazy stuff because he just doesn't have the money, and it's just not part of the establishment. But he's done something real good with the marketing, with the branding, and he's basically said that you are libertarian, and meaning everybody. And I think that does. Most people really in the United States, once you explain to them what it actually means, they're like, oh, yeah, that's me. And you notice both the Democrats and Republicans pander to those talking points and then do the exact opposite. So the Democrats typically, we're supposed to be strong for civil liberties, which, of course, the NDAA, the Patriot Act, all the stuff Obama has supported as much as the Republicans proves that that's not the case. But they love that rhetoric. Right. And then on the other side, you got the Republicans who will have you. They love the small government rhetoric, but even guys that are like beloved, like Ronald Reagan, the facts are, the numbers are, he grew government bigger than Jimmy Carter by leagues and bounds. So, it's this separation between rhetoric and reality, and a lot of that falls on the people, frankly. I mean, we're so into the NFL and the kids are into Xbox and TV, and I understand, but at some level, you get the government you deserve.
Well,
and I think people are waking up now because it's hitting them in the pocketbook, and people are hungrier and their standard of living, and so now they're waking up. But the problem is we let these white collar psychopaths run roughshod and just pick our pockets.
I heard what were we watching, Tom? Where somebody said that the average or most Americans get their political information from television.
From
ads.
The television, yeah, that's
from
right.
From TV ads.
Yeah.
That is
at issue on
really
on KSTP.
a
in the
horrible
internet
thing.
age, they still get
They're still getting political ads, which do nothing but lie about each other.
The internet isn't so great for political information either.
There actually are good sources. If you go to govtrack.us, you can actually look at their records. So you can say, well, this person's talking small government, or they're get government out of your bedroom, or get government out of your business. But then you look at it and you can actually see, and that's govtrack.us, and they show all the ways they voted. OpenSecrets.org is really good for following the money in politics, because you can see how the lobbyists are. Because really, let's be real, the politicians kiss our butt. And it's a podcast, so I can cuss. Is that right?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Go wild.
They kiss our ass, but they're not actually. They don't give a crap about us. What they do is they give a crap about the people paying all the money to get them reelected, to pay for those ads. It's not you and me. It's these companies and these Goldman Sachs and all that. That's who they actually are serving. They pander to us in rhetoric, but then their votes serve their true masters.
Well, almost everybody is voting a lesser of two evils. So what it's really about is, what does this politician spend the money on? compared to the other one, and where my tax dollars are going to go. I don't think Americans have a problem with paying taxes. They have a problem with where the money goes. And the other great challenge is it's 2012, and we still have an electoral college. So you have states like Minnesota that has voted for a Democrat for how many years? Minnesota is one of the highest in the country for showing up to vote. So I'll contradict myself a little bit there, but I think there are so many states that if everything was judged on the popular vote, especially in the age of technology that we're in, we'd have many more people turning out.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that.
Did you discuss what libertarians actually believe?
Well, here's my view, right? I've been libertarian. I'll be 40 this year, and I've been libertarian since I was about 20. And I've seen all kinds of different things come and go. And I think the easiest way to just explain what a libertarian is, basically a libertarian is a pacifist that will punch you back.
I like that.
Like I'm a total hippie. I don't care. You do your thing as long as it doesn't infringe on me. Fine. You infringe on me, I'm going to punch you,
Right.
or in kind, that kind of thing. But otherwise, I'm a total pacifist. Just, you do your thing. I may disagree with it. I may love to use my First Amendment right to say that totally sucks. But as long as you're not hurting somebody or defrauding somebody, go to town. But I'm also going to go to town and say, and advocate against that or whatever. But it's about just anything that's peaceful, just being responsible fiscally and tolerant or accepting socially.
So,
Okay.
I don't think it's complicated.
I have to ask you a question because here's something that people don't understand about me, and I'm probably screwed up on the deal, but I consider myself to be a libertarian. In other words, just please, government, leave me alone. But I'm totally pro-cop, which means if they want to pull me over, I look at that as a good thing. They're keeping my neighborhood safe. They're keeping the highways safe. And, well, if you want government out of your face, why don't you mind if you're being pulled over by the police? I said, because that's their job.
Yep.
So
my brother is a sergeant in the Las Vegas the Las Vegas Metro Police Department. So I'm very friendly to law enforcement, and there is a strong strain within the libertarian movement of these people who consider themselves anarchists, and they really want no government. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's tenable. I've tried to do the math, tried to think of the scenarios where that could work. You do have to have some small government. The challenge is just keeping it under wraps, keeping it small. And you do need things. You need courts. Mm-hmm. Now, I think that they should be open to competition, like have arbitrators and that kind of stuff. If you to keep them honest, like how FedEx and UPS keep some pressure on the postal service. But I think you need courts. I think you need police, and I think you need an army. But beyond that, all the other stuff can be handled better by voluntary associations, not by coercion. That's really what a libertarian wants, is to stop coercive relationships.
I think we should just do away with the presidency. Just
I
not
have
have
no
a president at all.
Good start.
Just forget it. We spend so much money and so much time, and it's such a huge division factor in our society. I think if we just didn't have a president at all, we've already got 2 governing bodies that make most of the rules and regulations anyway, 3. And just, make sure everybody gets, it's one side is this way, the other side goes the other way, and they all have to duke it out. Because if they can't come to an agreement, nothing changes and everything's okay then.
The one thing is I think people get like this, there is this kind of cultishness around the office of the president. And people think he can do a lot of stuff, and he really can't. The 2 things that the president does, obviously he's the commander-in-chief, so that kind of thing is great. And then the other one is he can veto legislation. And this is what I like about Gary Johnson, the Libertarian candidate right now. Successful two-term governor, reelected in a 2-1 Democratic state when he was Republican, shrunk government. I mean, really has a great resume, a better resume than the other 2 boneheads in the major parties. He really does. And the thing that I like about him is he was known as Governor Veto.
Right.
And he just vetoed the bejesus out of all the state Senate and state Congress people that wanted all these crazy bills and whatnot. So that I really like about Gary Johnson. And the other thing is the commander-in-chief, the guy is a bit of a peacenik. He's like, you know what? We get along better by withdrawing the troops and, let's point all the guns around aiming out from the United States. But then let's not have all these crazy military bases everywhere where we're blowing this money and just pissing off the locals. I mean, if China set up some base and had a bunch of thugs with guns roaming around, we'd be bummed out and pissed off and hate China too. No wonder people are pissed off at us.
No, you're absolutely right. It makes bring everybody home. How many billions do you know, Jake, go toward all these military bases we have around the world?
Well, I know that of our budget, the discretionary spending, I believe it's somewhere closer. It's like 60%. Just for military stuff, and
it was 40.
It's to the point where the former Joint Chiefs of Staff Admiral Mullen said the biggest threat to our national security is not Al Qaeda, it's not China. The biggest threat to our national security is the national debt.
Yes. There's no question.
Because what's going to happen when we can't buy anything anymore? When the bank, when the creditors finally yank our card, at that point, the tanks stop running. The soldiers stop getting salaries. Then we're totally vulnerable. I think that there's one really good case for war. As a libertarian, again, a pacifist that'll punch you back if somebody attacks us. I think that's a justified reason to go to war. And there's a whole actual canon of thought called just war theory, which is very much different. It's how war was waged for centuries and centuries until the 20th century, which became the century of total war, where we kill babies and we kill... It used to be you just fought the other guy's soldiers, and you didn't kill innocent people and whatnot. I think we need to have a serious reassessment of all that kind of stuff. There's some real shady things going on and really bad incentives, from war profiteering to consolidation of power, and that's not just on the business or on the government side, it's the business side. But what I find is that, this is where I sympathize with people on the left. I just think their diagnosis of the problem is wrong. These big corporations like Walmart and stuff, I don't like them. I think they suck. They're gross to me. Yeah. But the only reason they end up happening like that, getting that big, is because the government, there's this collusion where these business people get in cahoots, and so these little small towns, they give special tax incentives to Walmart to come and build in their city, but the mom and pops, they don't get that same break.
No.
That's total bullshit. That's not fair.
There's no question about it.
And it's government. It's this collusion between that lobbying type of snake mindset that says, "Oh yeah, let's go sweet talk the teacher and get special privileges for us, and then screw everybody else." That's not cool, man. That's not fair.
I tell you, the way Walmart is going to take on Amazon now is kind of scary.
Yeah,
they're setting up their own same-day delivery to your house.
Right.
Good luck, small businesses that are trying to sell retail products.
Americans should just go ahead and just get fatter right now. I mean, they don't even have to leave the freaking house.
We're working
stop it. Make them go to the store.
Jake, you got to come on more often. I think you've hit your key demo right here talking to us.
Yeah, I like this. You guys, this is kind of like I feel like I'm at the pub or something, and we're all just hanging out.
I was talking to some friends this morning, and we said if you believe the political ads about President Obama and the political ads about Mitt Romney, you'd have them both arrested for treason. It's true. You would. You are
Hang them
under
in the
arrest.
square.
You're under arrest for treason because Mr. Obama, you're totally anti-U.S. citizen. You're a colonialist, and you're totally anti-America. And Mr. Romney, you want to throw old people in the street and let them die. You're both treasonous. Why do they get away with these lies? That's what, I did voiceover for many years, and when I did a commercial, they always ran it through. As a federal law, you have to tell the truth in commercials. You must. You can't go in and say, come on into Sears today because we'll give you a set of tires for $5, and then you show up. It's false advertising. You cannot do that.
Switch.
The only place you can lie in a commercial is a political ad. How did that happen?
Yeah, you don't need the small print disclaimer that you can't read.
No.
I'll tell you exactly how that happened. Are you guys ready for this?
Jake, I knew you could tell.
We're sitting down. We're ready.
I'm nervous.
I've got the solution.
All right.
Because they're the ones making the law.
It's just amazing the things that they get away with in the fact. And they bark at each other about he raised his own pay 6 times in 4 years. Well, you all do that. He got lifetime health care benefits. Well, you all did that. I mean,
you want to know the other scandal that you raise a really good point about that law. Flippin' Martha Stewart went to prison for insider trading. Right. I mean, that alone, I can't believe they didn't make a reality show of her in prison. That would have been genius. But the thing that I find very fascinating, there was just an article. It's obscure. You'd have to Google it. I think it's like 152 congressmen profit based upon their votes or something like that. And what really the gist of it is that these politicians, these congresspeople, for example, they have personal portfolios in which they have stocks and bonds, but they have stocks and bonds in the companies in which they vote on legislation regarding or budgetary, we're going to give $100,000 to whatever, Dick Cheney's, company or Blackwater or something. But then they own stock in that same company.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Total insider trading.
I just, how did we let them get away with this? It's the American people. How did we ever let them do the things that they've gotten done? I don't know.
It's because it's Brave New World. It's not 1984. There's just a splash in 1984. It's Brave New World.
It really
It's that we have 500,000 TV channels. It's that we have... I went to the store. There were 40 different types of fucking butter.
I love that.
40 types of butter, 25 spaghetti sauces, and I get to choose between Romney and Obama? Bullshit.
My favorite is I can't fucking believe it's not butter.
Well, that's what I feel like when I look at Mitt Romney. I can't believe it's not fucking Obama. I mean, he's the same as Obama.
It's the same deal. They're the same person, and it's all bullshit.
Professional politicians.
Italians have, 11 political parties?
22. 11
major
real ones? Yeah, 11 major parties, yeah.
I mean, they do nothing but
this
scream
goes
and
back
fight.
to the point I was making about the voting systems. The Italian system runs off what's called, in that case, it's called proportional representation. Proportional representation says if you have a pie chart, and there's, it's 11 different slices, 10% are Libertarian, 20% are Democrat, 20% are Republican, 5% are Green Party, whatever, then by those percentages, that's what has to actually represent you in your legislative body. It has to be 10% Libertarian, 20% Democrat. That's how the proportional, it makes sense.
Well, it makes complete sense. Why didn't we go that route? I just don't understand why
it's one of those things. It's a sensitive dependence upon initial conditions. I mean, that's one of the tenets in math of chaos theory, that there's a sensitive dependence. Like the butterfly flaps its wing in Japan, and there's a tornado in Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. That we're kind of screwed. I think
we are.
I just wrote this book, Endonomics, and I looked at the numbers. There's no way, it's not tenable for the United States to exist as it is past 2025.
And no way. What do we do about that?
What we do is that we hope that when the collapse comes, and again, I'm an apocalyptic optimist. I think that's going to be a damn good thing, because when the collapse comes,
that's good.
When that happens, we just have to make sure that the good people actually are leading the rebuilding. And people are smart, and they're like, yeah, let's look at proportional representation. Let's look at instant runoff voting for single races like that, and proportional representation for legislative bodies. That's what I'm hoping for. And why I say, again, I'm an apocalyptic optimist, is that the people that supported, like Ron Paul, people who make sense,
right.
The grassroots, hardcore people, they are young.
They are,
Libertarians.
Yes.
They're young right now. And by 2025, they're going to be in their 40s and in those positions of leadership. And if we can keep that torch of liberty lit, those people, just like, the Soviet Union collapsed in the early 90s, mm-hmm. and sure, it was a pain in the ass. People didn't have their trash picked up for a couple months, and the roads got bad. But it wasn't Mad Max. It wasn't, The Walking Dead. It just was uncomfortable and lame for a little while. And actually, that collapse was great. It was bad for the bureaucrats, and they're the ones who were all doing the fear-mongering, but it was great for the Russian people.
It wasn't that great for the elderly, though.
But the problem is whether we like it or not, that is going to happen to us by 2025. And we have a good 10 years to manage it, or we could just keep kicking the can down the road and pretend like Mitt Romney and Obama are going to really offer us any kind of real substantial change. It won't happen. And so I am optimistic, but I think you raise a good point. The old people like, we know Social Security's in trouble. We know Medicaid's in a lot of trouble. If we're not going to fix those problems, there's also demographic problems. The boomers outnumber the Generation X and the people that came after them. And that's how these things are funded. It's not like your retirement is put into a separate account that's your money.
It was supposed to be.
I put in a lot of money in Social Security, and I'm totally fucked. I'm not going to get $1 of that.
Yeah. Well, you can thank Harry Truman for that. He put it in the general fund.
Yep.
We, just a group of friends and I, about a week ago, sat around, tried to discuss who was the last really good president. And what it boiled down to was the only really good president we ever had was the only man who didn't want to be president of the United States, George Washington. That's how far back we had to go.
That's a ways.
I mean, seriously, even the people that followed him in the office, monstrous, selfish pains in the ass. George Washington did not want to be. Well, first of all, they wanted him to be king, and he said, "I'm not going to be the king." That's
right. Who's got the balls to do that anymore? Nobody. That's so amazing.
King George. He said, no, there will be no King George. They said, well, how about president? No, I don't want to be the president. But he did a damn good job because he knew how. He was a leader, actually.
Well, yeah, and there were 13 people living in the United States. It was a lot easier back then.
Well, I suppose it probably was, but I mean,
it's a little different.
It's so in other words, 12 years, 13 years from now, it's all going to collapse, and then they'll get their chance to eat the rich at that point. I don't know. It's just that hatred, that class hatred that people have for one another, and it goes up the ladder and down the ladder, by the way. They all hate each other.
That's why, as a libertarian, I really do like to define it in terms of kind of being a pacifist, almost like a hippie. I mean, you look at the tradition of kind of the civil disobedience folk, okay?
Right.
Look at the guy who started it all, Henry Thoreau, right? Thoreau was thrown into jail, wrote the book Civil Disobedience. Why? Because of a poll tax. A tax, which is ironic because, the typical left, they're so like, oh, tax everything, and we're all about peace. But they don't understand that the biggest financier of violence is taxation.
No, well,
so Thoreau was against tax. Guess what? Gandhi started off with salt. It was salt, like on dinner table, salt tax.
Right.
It's true. Jake, just to tell you kind of the day you're going to have as compared to mine. Today, October 15th, I get to pay my personal income tax to the federal government.
Yep.
My personal income tax to the state government. My property taxes on my home. A property tax on a piece of land that I still own only because the economy collapsed. I had it sold, but the economy collapsed, so I still own that. And I'm having a root canal. What do you think, Jake? That's a big day, isn't it? He just laughed.
God bless
He just
America.
starts laughing at me. Thanks, Jake. Some passive.
Well, no, I feel you. Everything except the root canal I got happening to me as well today. So I do. In the words of the infamous Bill Clinton, I feel your pain. But the thing is it's unfortunate. But you know what? How all this gets pulled over our eyes ultimately when you really start arguing about it and you get down onto it. It's this bullshit idea of a social contract.
Right.
Social contract. I didn't fucking sign anything. I did not sign anything. My children who are going to have to be fucking debt slaves, they didn't sign anything. And you know what? And I use the word slave very deliberately.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
What happens if you don't pay today, Tom?
I will eventually go to prison.
And what if you resist prison?
I'll probably be gunned down in the street.
He'll go to Canada.
This is not rocket science.
No, I would be killed.
We do not live in a free society. A free society does not require that. And here's the real shocker. Here's the real shocker. You can do the math on your own. Don't believe me. Do the math on your own. If we, right now, repealed Prohibition, we repealed the 16th Amendment, got rid of the IRS, and replaced it with nothing. That would chop off 40% of the revenues right off the top of the government. And everybody's like, oh, my God, what's going to happen? The world will end. Here's what will happen. That would take us back to the size of government we had, the revenues that the federal government had under Bill Clinton in 1997.
That's all?
That was a giant fucking government then.
Yeah.
We don't need an income tax. Don't look at the numbers. Don't believe me. This is a fact.
You know, it's interesting. At the beginning of the interview, Jake, you were afraid to say the word ass.
And now you're Mr. Potty Mouth.
Yeah, there is no. It's not a dial. It's an on and off switch.
Well, to tell you, you're a wrestling coach, are you not? Or you were?
Yeah, I do a bit of that. Yep.
So you're used to swearing.
You're used to being around wrestlers. Were you at all levels, the college level wrestler?
You know, my stuff is mostly
Hobby.
this kind of, you see this ultimate fighting stuff that's real popular now?
Yes.
So I started out, my mom put me in Pee-wee's with the what's called here in the States folk style wrestling, which eventually at the international level becomes freestyle wrestling.
Right.
I've been wrestling since I was 4, in and out of it, different stuff. When I was 16, I had cancer. And that really threw a wrench in the works. So I kind of had to sit back, and that was kind of right when you're really in high school and getting ready to maybe get a scholarship or anything like that. So I turned to academics instead. And then once I was healed up and better, I went back to it. But it was a little bit past that point where I could really get into the Olympic style stuff. So at that time, I was in Colorado. I was going to the University of Colorado Boulder. And that was actually where the very first Ultimate Fighting Championship was held at that time. And I happened just to go because I was taking judo and, I was into the martial arts and whatnot and saw some of the stuff, and I just really got excited about it. And so I've been really involved on that side of it. I just went to the UK and Italy. They flew us out there to do some coaching and tour around and give seminars and stuff like that. So, yeah, I love wrestling. I mean, there's 3 things in my life that are passions, of course, after my family and my wife and whatnot. But wrestling, libertarianism, and then also hypnosis, as weird as that might sound.
Hypnosis, the hypnotist, healer, head hacker, and headliner. I don't want to embarrass you here, but I got to read this stuff. Jake Shannon, financial expert, a master of science, degree in financial engineering, author, radio host. The book Endonomics predicts the end of the United States as we know it by 2025, as you heard Jake say. Co-founder of .net, excuse me. And then also Physical Chess, Say Uncle, a couple of books on wrestling, expert in libertarian political theory, current chairman of the Libertarian Party of Utah, predicted the Tea Party movement would be co-opted by the GOP and the acclaimed Teocond. I love that title, by the way. The hijacking of liberty in America. You're author of The Hypnotist, Healer, Head Hacker, and Headline. I mean, you're all over the place. No wonder you do such a good interview.
Well, I'll tell you, it really boils down to those 3 things for me. The wrestling, the libertarian political theory, and then and hypnosis. Those are really kind of the uniting thing between all the different various pies that I have my fingers in. But I'm a bit of a type A personality, if you can't tell from the conversation. So
seems so laid back.
It takes a very special woman to be married to me. My wife is like amazing, and she's pretty intense in her own right. So, I honestly, and not to be heavy or whatever, but when I was young, I had a couple really serious illnesses. When I was like in 4th grade, I almost died of gangrene poisoning, which, like, in the fucking 20th century, I mean, that's like a Little House on the Prairie type of thing. That's not like 20th century.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, then the cancer and whatnot, I just really came to terms with, who knows what the fuck's on the other side. You die, maybe you go to heaven, or maybe there's 20 virgins like the Muslims believe. I don't know. But what I do know is what's here and now. And I'm just going to cram in as much shit as I possibly can and try to do it, not in a half-assed way. And that's really been my philosophy throughout my whole life. So you want to throw on one other weird, totally random thing. If you go and you go to like 7-Eleven and pick up a pack of, Stride gum, the chewing gum,
absolutely.
Stride. There's one that's got like a hypnotic spiral. It's black and white on the cover. If you open up, you go buy one of those. I'm inside every pack of those gums. Oh. You can see my stupid mug making weird hypnotic faces.
Really? That's cool.
I know it's random.
It's random.
It's strange.
Jake, you got to come back. You've been just a terrific interview. I love enthusiastic interviews. I just love them because some people you interview, no. Gee, this is really interesting. Jake Shannon, thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk very soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, I love it, guys. All we need is like a bartender or something to make it perfect.
Thanks, Jake.
Thanks.
Hey, thanks, guys. Have a great one.
For Bradshaw and Bryant, Michael Bryant. Michael, what's up?
Dealing with another case where a person gave a statement to the adjuster because they thought the person was really friendly.
Is that a good idea?
Well, the problem is they know the law when they call you up. And while you're trying to be fair and you're trying to get help, the reality is there are questions you get asked that the way you answer them make a big difference. And people put themselves in trouble. And when they aren't in trouble, they didn't do anything wrong, but suddenly the adjuster's got a statement that can blow up their case completely.
What has caused people to be so untrustworthy, I guess is the best way I could put it? They take advantage.
Well, insurance companies have hired adjusters whose job it is to deal with unrepresented people. So they're supposed to kind of lure them in, call them every day, see how they're doing, and people are like, oh, I'm doing pretty good. Where the reality is they've kind of adjusted to their problem that they've got going on. So it's not that they're completely better, but the way they say it gets to be a problem. And that's why having somebody who can explain your rights, represent you, make sure that you understand the law before you give a statement can make a big difference in your case.
Michael Bryant, Bradshaw and Bryant. Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Brian Thiel, president of Abrasives of St. Paul.
What I like best about North American Banking Company is the small town feel with great products and very good service, and I love the people. I would definitely recommend North American to other business owners. A lot of banks I could choose from, and North American Banking Company is the one.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. That's nabanco.com, or stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. I just thought, he turned out to be just a great guest. And what I loved, and Tony pointed it out, that he evolved during the interview.
Oh, he started to wind up.
I got more and more comfortable.
Well, so many people approach that with skepticism, so he's probably used to that.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. I think he didn't know if he was going to be attacked for his views or not. He was taking that chance.
Attacking people for views.
You do have to agree with him, though. It's probably going to happen. In the next 12 years, this whole thing's coming apart because you can't have $16 trillion in debt.
It's how we're spending the money. I mean, on the one breath, he's talking about the military and how ridiculous the amount of money is that we're spending on the military.
Right.
Not that we don't support the soldiers.
Of course we do.
Absolutely.
Well, I support the military. I support a strong defense, but I think it's out of control with what we're spending money on. And then on the other side, yes, there's... From my perspective, it's like, we got people taking advantage of welfare and Social Security and everything else. But on the other side of it, we have people that are taking advantage of the government other ways, or they're using the legislation to get around having to pay their fair share of taxes.
You know what, Catherine? That statement you made kind of sums up why there's a problem with political discourse and discussion now. Because you can't start to make an opinion regarding the military without backing it up with, but, we support the military.
Right.
You should be able to give your opinion without having to quantify it.
Yeah, but you feel like you have to quantify everything today because everybody is like, if you don't say what I want you to say, then I hate your guts and we can't have a conversation.
Exactly. That's why it sucks.
I know. It's ridiculous. And it's this whole political environment that we have created. You against me against them is just absolutely asinine, and it has to stop.
Well, social media has made it worse
no
in the last
doubt
few years
about it.
because people who don't know each other will get personal very quickly and rip the hell out of a stranger on social media. Whereas if you know somebody, which is the way it used to be, you actually sat down and had a conversation, you'd at least be reasonable and say, okay, I see your side of it. I may disagree with it, but you'd probably be a little bit more civil. On social media, it's, you're a fucking idiot. I hope you die for your beliefs. I mean, that's what
I was talking about when I said the internet's not a great place for the political discourse.
Like anything, it depends on where you're at in the internet.
If it has comments sections, don't go there.
So I should take it personally when the guy told me I should put a bullet in my head.
No,
I wouldn't do that.
Oh yeah, he said, "Why don't you just put a bullet in your head?" It's like, oh, that's nice. That's
for why?
What'd you do now?
For why?
I don't know. I must have done something to this guy that he dreamed up. Or what happened was, I think he Facebooked me. He posted on my wall when he was drunk. So I said, do me a favor and just, next time you post, just sober up.
Which family member was it?
Was it my mother?
Yes, it was Betty.
Saturday night she gets into
the sherry.
Yeah, exactly.
Tony, I just assume the
sherry.
Let's get into the sherry.
I don't think she's a big sherry drinker.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast. Follow Tom on Twitter @Radio Tom Barnard and visit TomBarnardPodcast.com.
And thanks for stopping by.